Okay, students. So if you can observe the screen, you can put Y in the chat box, students. And if the voice is also clear, you can put Y in the chat box. Thank you, students. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, students. So students, what we will do is let's start the class now. So the SWOT analysis, we will work together, and thank you very much for sending the SWOT and ratio. Today we will do the complete SWOT analysis and understand how this business works out. So students, in the last class, I think we got the basic understanding of the industry operations. So I told you it is human dominated operations. So you need to maintain the human resources properly, and also you need to be very much careful with the updations of the course content as well. So students, what we can continue here is, let's continue from the area what we have kept. So students, now I just want to continue here. So the strength. So students, can you just type some strength, whatever you observe, students, any strength you observed here, you can type in the chat box, please. The strengths you have observed, so that it will be a discussion. You can type in the chat box. Well stabilized relationship. Okay, so again, students, that is very much location. Okay, so one thing I can generally say is one of their strength is organization structure. Organization structure. Students, if you don't mind, can you just chat in the chat box what is the organization structure? If you don't mind, students, the organization structure, it's there in the case study, but what is the organization structure they have, students? What is that? So can you just look at that, students? I think they have given a diagram. So you need to understand that that is one of their major success of this business process, the organizational success. So students, if you don't mind, can you just chat in the chat box what is that? I think it is page number 11. We have something called a topic manager, and below the topic managers we have course managers. So if you don't mind, students, can you recall the number of topic managers and the course managers, if possible, students? Like, how many are there, students? How many are there? If you don't mind, topic managers and course managers, how many are there, students? Five topic managers. Very good. Five topic managers. We have five topic managers. Five topic managers. And then, students, how many course managers we have? How many course managers? We have 30 course managers. We have 30 course managers. We have 30 course managers. So students, there are 30 course managers, each specializing in a particular area. So students, if you don't mind, can you please tell me what are their course contents? Anyone, students in our class, can you just tell me what are their course content? Please, students, their course content, what are the five specializations? If I am not mistaken, students, can you just let me know? You can use the chat box. What are the five specializations they have? A very good accounting, finance, financial risk, petroleum also they have. And any other things, students? Any other things? Health and safety also we have, students. So students, that is 100% agreeable. So I will write down their areas. One is the management. Then I can say the other area is accounting and finance. Accounting and finance. And then the other area is what, students? It is the something called specialization. They say specialized courses. Okay, specialized courses. And then we have something called oil and gas engineering. Oil and gas engineering. Oil and gas engineering. Oil and gas engineering. And the final one, and the final one is what, students? And the final one is the, I can say, health and safety. health and safety, health and safety, health and safety. Final one is health and safety, students. So these are the course contents they have. Students, of this we can find a weakness. So I will give the opportunity to Priscilla. If you can talk, it will be really great. Priscilla, are you able to talk by any chance?
Yes, sir, I'm able to talk.
Yes, Priscilla, from this course contents, I am giving you a clue. There is a weakness.
Okay. Is it that it doesn't cover every topic area?
Yes, correct. But what is that topic area?
Let's see.
Other students can give a try as well until Priscilla is thinking. If your mic set is strong, students, you can talk. I don't mind it. If your mic set is strong, you can talk. If it is not strong, you can chat in the chat box, students. One weakness is there. Engineering, no.
Tech?
It's a weakness actually, and then it's a threat also, going to be a threat as well. Anyone, students, give it a try, please give it a try. HR, no. Very good, Joes, it's IT. Can I ask you a question, Priscilla? Without IT nowadays, is it possible to operate a business?
No, so that's why I said tech, but I guess I didn't.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Information technology, students, IT, information technology. And students, if you don't mind, I just wanted to say one area that they have mentioned. I'll just take it down because, students, there are 4 articles. This will give you the practical situations of the businesses. So students, in these 4 articles, I just want to show you. I'll just take it down. There was an article related to this one, that is the Telecommunication Corporation of Southland. So what they are saying is, students, they have attended a course on something called business intelligence. So students, I will just highlight this sentence here. I think we are not providing that course. Are we providing any courses on business intelligence, big data, or data mining, anything like that, students? Are we giving anything similar to that?
Oh.
No, right, students? So can I say, is that a weakness? Yes or no? Agree? So can I write down it's a threat? We are not updated to the tech training courses. One courses I can say is very popular is something called digital marketing. By any chance, has anyone heard about that, students? Digital marketing? Yes. And then there is something called cloud computing. Have you heard about that, students? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Agree? So that is also one more thing, because, students, this is there in your syllabus. And then, students, we have something called machine learning, if I'm not mistaken. Machine learning. And then, students, it is clearly mentioned here business intelligence, because at the moment search engine optimization, Google Analytics, everything is an example of business intelligence. It will track your users, how many people are browsing your website, and it will give you suggestions. Okay, so one of the weaknesses, information technology courses are not yet developed, but frankly speaking, students, that is becoming a trend nowadays. And I will write down one more thing: cybersecurity is now again an emerging industry, students. So before I move into the next sections, any questions, any doubts you have, you can ask me, students. Is it fine? If it is fine, you can put Y in the chat box, students. Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. Priscilla, can you tell me one more weakness of our company?
Okay. second. I'm just gonna go through what I did.
Sure. Students, any other weaknesses you think? Because students, if you see in the exams, we will be getting a problem to solve rather than a strength to promote ourselves. So can you just think about one problem that is known to us in the pre-seen material, very specifically highlighted? Business dependent.
Family-owned business.
Family-owned business. Can we come to all those things little later? Family-owned business, everything, because that all are generic. I can generally say generic means if you observe any family-owned business is a weakness. Now you are an international student here, very high standard. So family-owned business, correct. But can you tell that to family-owned business? Can you tell Ambani family-owned business? If you die, something wrong happen, Ambani little get out of my company. So please be matured here, little more matured answer. But it is mentioned.
Staff turnover?
Can you please repeat it? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
I said staff turnover.
No. Travel time of the course, Jose, you came very close. Okay, so the weakness is, can you remember students, one weakness is, here it is clearly mentioned from the trainers that I need to be very specific here. That is, it's not own promises as well. Do you see here, they book the flights for the trainer on the day of the course, while if you see the other company, Mastercals, they bring the trainer one day in advance. Are you understanding what I'm saying there, Priscilla? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, is that a weakness? Agree or not agree? Yes or no? A main weakness, operational weakness, because owners, our family business, all are secondary weaknesses. I can say going concern, but this is day-to-day business operations. What do you think, Priscilla?
That's correct. Yes.
That's correct, right? So
Yeah.
can I write down here, bookings of flight tickets, bookings of flight tickets at last moment. Students, please read this page number 26. I will specifically mention that page 26. Students, I think that is a bigger thing. And the threat I can say is, students, anyone heard about a website called Glassdoor?
Yes. Review.
Yeah,
Right.
very good. It's students, I'll write down the website. The name of the website is Glassdoor. It's a wonderful website, students, because whenever I get an offer from a good company or a company I don't know, I quickly check in Glassdoor, how does the employees react about the company. And here, students, this blog is like Glassdoor. The trainers are reacting about the training institution. You getting what I'm saying, students? So here I can say Mastercals having great feedbacks. Mastercals having what? Great feedback. So I told you this is a human dependent organization. What do you think, Priscilla? Yes or no? It's 100% human dependent organization. So I will just share you my experience as a trainer. So what I do is, Priscilla, I always prefer a very smooth working environment because I'm teaching it for my students, right? At the first thing. So I need my mind to be very much relaxed and comfortable when I'm working. So I always choose my client who is booking me on like what they are saying here, 100%. Even I don't go last moment because it will be very difficult to handle the children. So students, that is one weakness. And there is another weakness, students. If you don't mind, can you tell me? You can tell me, students, any weakness? Priscilla, any weakness you are thinking?
Yeah, but I'm gonna try, but I don't think it's in line with what you're saying. You know, when they say that to avoid them sending 2 trainers to the location, so they might send a trainer who hasn't got a specialty of a particular topic to teach. So is that not like a weakness?
I cannot say it's a weakness at the moment. I can generally say it is like a backup plan. But the problem I suggest is another weakness is again trainers are complaining. Another trainer is complaining last minute cancellation. There is page number 27. Can I just write down, students?
Yeah.
Last minute flight cancellation. It's not good, students. What do you think? Now, example, students, now let's assume last minute flight cancellation. This is affecting the mindset, and word of mouth will get affected. Word of mouth will be negative. So, students, last minute flight cancellation is a bigger issue here, because it will, if it is a good trainer and you are canceling his flight at the last moment, it's not good. Now again, students, I'll be very frank, even though our teaching segment look very simple, actually it is depending with more satisfaction, human interaction. So students, I can generally say last minute flight cancellation here they have mentioned. And again they are telling masterclass has good process. Again, what is the thing they are telling? Masterclass has better process. Has what? Better process, and that is also one more thing. So if I summarize in general, I can say trainers not satisfied. And students, one of their marketing strategy, how do they get clients, students? One strategy is they get clients using the trainers. What do you think, Priscilla? Yes or no? Because trainers develop relationship with other trainers and they recommend trainers. Have you ever observed that? It was mentioned in the pre-scene material. Now, example, I'm a trainer in accounting and finance. If you want someone for taxation, I may recommend them. You getting the point what I'm saying? But if I am always saying bad about this organization, will my fellow trainer come and work in your company?
No.
No. So when you do not have strong team of trainers, will that definitely affect your company's reputation?
Yes.
So students, if you observe here, it's completely an area where you have to think a lot, students, where you have to think a lot. So just keep in mind. And one more thing, students, one more thing. Here, this lady has mentioned worst course ever, and this is again one of the trainer complaining. So students, this is an important area, I believe, that everyone should read. Again, don't worry, students. I have read this fully, so I am guiding you all. So anyway, when you read, you will find it easy. The other thing is delegates must be explained on the behaviors during the session. Now, as per my experience, I have seen very good institution. They tell the delegates you should not use mobile phone when the lectures are going on, and that has been followed as well. But some organization, they do not have any control over the delegates. I can say, we say in ethics called advocacy threat, students. They just want business, so they support their client. You understand what I'm saying? Because they are not bothered about how the client is behaving. They only want the money. So here there is an advocacy threat as well, students, where you support your client even though he is creating problems, but you are fine with that because he's paying you money. That is advocacy threat.
Sorry, can I ask a question about that? Where's the evidence on where can we see this?
Here it's there.
Is there?
This lady has clearly mentioned her experience in this one. So can I just make a note of this? So if you don't mind, students, can you all go through this if possible today? Because this is the intellectual points, the last pages. Is that fine? Yes or no?
Yes, that's fine.
So
So
students, this is very, very important. I'm not telling lies, students. And if you have observed, students, even when you all join to the session, I don't take a big crowd to the classroom because this is true. Because when the delegates are creating problems, it will affect all other delegates. What do you think, Priscilla? Yes or no?
that's true. I mean, if there's a structure in place where the lecturer teaches and then at the end there's a Q&A, then obviously there's a structure rather than just them interrupt
Correct,
class.
correct. So students, just remember this is 100% practical scenarios, and you also sometimes would have experienced in your courses where one or two delegates will be disturbing the session and you may find it very difficult to concentrate. So students, if you don't mind, can you please put a Y in the chat box by Thursday? In other words, tomorrow Can you read these sections if possible, please? I can little observe that you have missed this area, but by tomorrow, can you please read these students? Very, very important, because in business students, we need to know the people very, very well, how they learn from that. And thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. So students, now what I will do is, can I just come to the next one? Articles will just finish it off, Priscilla, because these articles are very much essential. Okay. So I think you all have already gone. So here, um, paratestal transition, that is, students, these are like government owned companies managed by a board of directors. Government owned companies managed by board of directors. Example, if you generally observe, students, I think you may be aware, Air India is owned by government and it's managed by board of directors. If you see Sri Lankan Airways, owned by the government, managed by the board of directors. Essential services, electricity, gas, and telecommunication. So what happens is, these have an educated management who is taking care of the government owned businesses. Is that fine, Priscilla? Yes or no?
Yes, that's fine.
So students, what I can say is, do we provide any educational service to the government until now? Have we given any training workshop to the government sector?
No.
No. So can I say is the opportunity? Yes or no, students?
Yeah.
Agree or not agree? So
Agree.
I'll write down here, parastatals government organizations. Students, it will be great if you can work with me. Government organizations needs training for their board of directors. For their board of directors. Now, students, this is, I can say, this will give you a lot of goodwill, recognition, everything. So students, here they are clearly mentioning they are accountable to the government. Okay, so I think you are very clear about this. And then to like the shareholders, but the only difference is they have more complicated purpose, and they expect to operate in profit and also operate in national interest. What is this, students? National interest. National interest means they should also take care of the domestic need of the people and the country as well. So just keep in mind, students, this is very, very important. Okay, so if you observe day to day, they are clearly stating that every country is moving towards this model. And here they are telling there is a government project. Okay, so there can be chances of a tender or anything in the future, students. On the Eastland Minister of Telecommunication, looking forward for high dividends. So one thing, students, they have taken a loan. The Eastland government has taken a loan to finance a project. And students, for that project, what they need is, they may need you to explain about that. So can I write down, there can be a workshop on WAC. Students, what is WAC, students?
Weighted average.
Weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital. Cost of capital. So students, if you don't mind, can you please write down, and I will just mention the name of the lady, that is Nancy. Her name is Nancy Chitera. So this is the name of the person. Okay, Nancy Chitera, and she's the chair of Eastland Telecommunication. So students, if you don't mind, can you please tell me where is our country situated in? Our company situated in, students?
Northland.
Very good. Northland students. So this is another country. So just keep in mind, we may have to consider other elements as well, like the exchange rate risk, everything, because government will always pay in their local currency mostly. So just to your basic understanding here. So students, this is the opportunity, but we do not have any experience in handling these type of things. So can I say, this will be finally ended up as a bespoke course. What is bespoke course, students, by any chance? Bespoke course?
Is it when it's tailored specifically?
Correct. Tailored specifically for a need. So students, can we just mention it's a bespoke course as well? So students, before I move forward with the other areas, any questions, any doubts you have, you can ask me, students. I can guide you as well.
So I was going to ask something, sir.
Please.
Based on the opportunities, I work for the government and we do something similar like that. So companies like KPMG have, for our L&D, they're already contracted to offer different courses. So whenever you want a course, you can just book it directly and then we'll pay for it. So I think this is very similar to what they can do in terms of opportunity.
100% I can agree with you. And can there be a situation of a bribery? Thank you very much for telling that. So can there be a situation of bribery? Possible or not possible? Just to get the course contract. Yes, right. Thank you for that. Bribery situation can arise to get government projects. To get what, students? Government projects. Students, it's a very good area. Government projects. Government projects. I think students of India, you may be aware that PWC was banned in India for 2 years. Mr. Sajal, are you there by any chance? Anyone?
Yes.
Mr. Sajal, can you remember PWC in India was banned, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So students, I'll write that example. So it is true, students. PWC banned in India because of this Satyam scam they supported. So that's
Yeah,
the
Satyam. Yeah, Satyam.
Satyam scam they supported. So students, there can be a situation where a training course can take place in the form of bribery as well. So that is a good way of thinking. So thank you, Priscilla, for that point. So students, if it is fine for you all, can you please put Y in the chat box so that I will move to the next section as well. Thank you, students. Thank you, students. So TCOS board criticized over the training course. So this we were analyzing because here they were telling about the big data, everything. So I will just write down there is opportunity. It's a balance for IT based courses, and we can say as fintech. What is that, students? Fintech, financial technology. So that we are lagging, so there is an opportunity as well. So that is the thing we have just gone through here, so that is fine. And here action station, stand by your spreadsheet. So again there is another section, that is the Northland Navy. The military wants again a training. So Priscilla, can I ask you one basic question here? Now if you see telecommunication versus the Navy, do you think the target audience are same or completely different way of attitude?
Yes, to an extent.
Yes. So students, we may be successful in training the corporates, but do we have any successful things on training the military or the naval or the air force? No, right? So can I just write down that's another weakness as well? So can I write down one weakness we have is no training provided, no training provided, no training provided to public sector. To what sector? Public sector. And other one is no training provided, no training provided, no training provided, no training provided to the national forces, to the national what? Forces. So I will put here Army, Navy, and what, students? Air Force. Army, Navy, and Air Force. So is that fine, students? Yes or no? Good.
Yes.
So the Navy has announced that the plan to incorporate budgets in the financial planning into the training programs for all of its senior officers. So students, here, if you observe, the market is different. Delegates are completely different. So you need to have matured trainers, and the trainers, they can't complain later because of their behavior, because anyway the forces will have a different type of behavior. That's acceptable. And Commander Andrew, the Navy spokesman. So I'll write down here Commander Andrew. So students, these people can come in the examination as well. Commander Andrew. So what has Commander Andrew stated is, they have assured the Northland News that additional training would be added to the curriculum. So they are going to have that as a new thing. Would not be replacing the existing content. Our officers will be able to navigate ship and operate their system, but we have identified growing need for training in various aspects of management. So we do provide management, yes, technical specialisms. We do have a little bit of specialized courses as well. Ship captains frequently have to manage complicated budgets. So we do have accounting as finance as well. The Navy pointed out that it has always trained the officers to be competent managers. For example, all officers have to manage crew members in the division. So they all have been taught to competent human resource management. The new initiative will simply broaden the scope of management training. So students, I can generally say this is one of their opportunity. I can say Commander Andrew, I can say inclusiveness. So he has mentioned inclusiveness of training, of training to the to the Navy expenses, Navy budget. So students, in future we can get again an opportunity to go inside that. And again, I can say bribery can be again another situation, students. Bribery can be another issue there. So can I ask you one more thing? Priscilla, have you heard something called Train the Trainer? There is a special course called Train the Trainer.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so students, can I just write down here? It's a weakness. Continuous development, you would have heard. So no Train the Trainer program. These guys are not having Train the Trainer program is not there. No Train the Trainer program. That is no CPD for whom? For trainers. You understand what I'm saying? Because the guy who is doing the training also needs a training. What do you think, Priscilla? Yes or no?
That's true. Yes.
So students, any questions in this you can ask me, but this is again a matured way of observing the market.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please.
So this is totally off again, but I just wanted to ask in terms of either a threat or weakness. With the way they're taking flights, you know, in this day and age of environmentalist people who would say that they're overusing CO emission, is it something that, you know, protesters can protest against the company in terms of them using flights?
Frankly speaking, at the moment, I cannot say it is a bigger issue. I can say like this, only 15 delegates are participating. So if you see maximum numbers in the costing table, for a session, it is only 15. So 15 delegates plus the course manager plus the trainer, it will be maximum of 20. So 20 people going is not a material amount. Is that fine, Priscilla? Because she was speaking about the carbon emission, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
using the flights. So I think this is just a small quantity.
Okay, that's fine.
So students, I'll come to the next one. So again, home workers needs to check over their shoulder. So students, I think you must go through this in detail because it's compulsory. So I will just teach you one thing. So in the students, they are emphasizing on work from home, how to work from home training program. At the moment, do we have any work from home training program conducted by our colleagues, or are we generally following the traditional courses? Management, accounting, finance, specialized, oil and gas, health and safety. But did we move anything towards the work from home? Nothing, right? So students, can I write that as a weakness? Work from home, training courses, are not designed. So I can generally say work from home training courses not designed is virtual environment, virtual environment. So at the moment, students, if you observe our classroom, we are from the world everywhere, but still our class is going smoothly because we are working under the virtual environment, students. So I believe this is fine for you all. Yes or no? So here I will just write down here. So I can say work from home courses can be developed, And one more thing is, now if you observe, people are getting used to the online courses. So here, can I just say online learning can emerge. What do you think, students? Yes or no? Can online learning emerge in the future? Will that affect our business if it is emerging? Possible or not possible, students? Highly possible. So I can just mention online courses like Coursera is one area, and then we have another area called Skillshare. Okay, now all these websites are generally doing training to many of the corporates, basically by just having a click and go. So students, this is the basic understanding. Video meetings. Okay, so students, one is we need to have the work from home training, and the second thing is there is a opportunity to a third party to come and crack the market with a new product as well. So any questions you have, you can ask me, students. If you're fine with that, you can put Y in the chat box. Thank you, students. Thank you very much. So students, I think we have observed everything very carefully. And one more thing, Priscilla, I just wanted to ask you a question. If you have done a little bit of mathematics, now if you observe in our company, that is as Trayyner, what is our dividend payout ratio?
Let me find that.
Students, I will guide you. Now I will work with you all, so it's easy for you all and me. So students, I have taken the financial statements. I believe you are seeing the Trayyner financial statements. Yes or no, students? You can see the Trayyner financial statements. Yes, you are able to see that. So just a minute, students. So I'll just do the working for you all. Okay, so it's visible. So students, please observe this. The dividend they paid was 42,390, and the profit they made for the year was how much? 44,602. So if I multiply it by 100, can you all please tell me, students, what will be the answer? If you don't mind, can you please give it a guidance, please? 42,390, 42,390, 44,602, 44,602 multiplied by 100. So what is the dividend percentage of this? How many percent of the profits are going as dividends? Anyone? 99? No, Jose is correct. It's 95%. So thank you very much, Mr. Jose. It is 95%. It is 95%. So Priscilla, what can you comment about this? Oh, my students,
Dividend?
others, yes. Why about this 95%? What will you comment about?
Is it the amount of dividend they're paying is high?
Yeah,
Cash.
they have paid it high. So do they have balance? You can say return earnings. We use the term called return earnings. Now, if you observe, if they pay 95% as dividend, the return earnings balance is only how many percent? It's only 5%, correct? The return earnings is only 5%. So can they have any future potential investment on a technological thing? Do they have money for future investments? No, right? And I have another question, students, if you don't mind. Can you tell me how the shareholders are in this organization? Can you tell me the shareholders structure, if possible, students? The shareholder structure. You can use the chat box, students. The shareholder structure, please, students, please. Please, can you let me know the shareholders structure? So if you see executives whole too, correct. So the person here, so who are the executive? One is Mr. Asif. Mr. Asif owns 10%. So remember their names. And Miriam owns how many percent? 10%. And the balance 80% is with the private investors. Private investors. You have not gone to the public, it's private investors. So my question to the classroom here, 95% dividend is gone to these guys. So my question is, are they having a good financial management? I think no, they are not having a good financial management. So students, can I agree with you all? Yes or no? So if you don't mind, can I come to the next person? That is our competitor. Can we just do a small analysis of our competitor too? So if you see Mastercals, students, now can you give it a small try? Mastercals, if you see, start working students, Mastercals, I can say the ratios, start working. So if you observe students, Mastercard paid a dividend of 34,422. Okay, and that was for the profit they made of how much? 336,804. So if I multiply it by 100, so students, shall we work on that? 34,422, 36,804. So I am giving it's 93.53 if I'm not mistaken to the nearest two decimal places. But if you observe the previous one, it was around 95%. So here it's 93. So what can we observe now? So can we say anything wrong to our organization? Can we say anything wrong to our organization? Now, the first analysis we did, we observed that was a little bit awkward. But here, if you see, this guy is having around 7% only retained earnings. Wonderful, Jos. That is the correct answer. So can I just mention what is this known as? Industry practice. Priscilla, are you clear with how I concluded this industry practice?
Yes.
Wonderful. Students, you just write this down and you can write a conclusion as industry practice. So look at the methodology we use, students. Practically we learned and you told me the answer. I never told you the answer. I think Jose gave the answer. So we need to be happy that our class is responding here. That means teacher is not dominating class and teacher is involving together. So that's how we observe it. So if we see only as one individual entity, we think that's a wrong financial management. But if you observe here, it's an industry practice. So industry practice, can I say, Priscilla, can that be a threat to the entire industry? What do you think, Priscilla? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, because Priscilla, during the COVID-19, certain industries lost. What do you think, Priscilla? Agree or not agree?
Agree.
Example, one industry is tourism industry, completely gone, right, Priscilla? No one went and stayed. So if you observe, in the industry practice, everyone is following the same. There can be a threat of the industry practice in a certain situation of uncertainty. Can there be a situation of a recession? Possible or not possible, Priscilla? Chances are there or not there? An economic recession? Yeah. So during the economic recession, this industry may get highly impacted because if you generally see, people will not go for training. Companies will be not focusing on training their employees. They may focus that money for something else. So recession can be a threat for this industry practice. So what I will do, students, is I will update this point. So I can just mention here, high dividend payout in the industry, high dividend payout in the industry from both from both, I can say we made a conclusion. Trainer and who? Mastercals at 90%. At how many percent? 90% average, we can say, right? Average somewhere around 90%. By any chance, has anyone known about the IT bubble of United States? By any chance, Priscilla heard about IT bubble of United States, 1990?
No, I haven't.
2000, sorry, sir.
2000, right? Early 2000, 1999, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Correct?
1999, 2000. Yeah.
1999 to 2000, correct, right? So started in 1990, and 1999 to 2000 there was an IT bubble, students. I think that is the industrial risk, I can generally say. So students, if you don't mind, can you just make a note of that? Any doubts, any questions you have, students, you can ask me. But I, frankly speaking, I think the students are understanding, I can observe. Any question you can ask me, students. If you are fine with that, you can put Y in the chat box. Thank you very much, students. Students, here, do you observe that the exchange rate is having a foreign currency translation loss? So can I just update that as well? So can I put here exchange rate risk? Yes or no, students? Exchange rate risk, and within brackets, I will say translation loss in the current financial statements. In the current, what, students? Financial statements. In the current financial statements. So that is done. As students, if you observe, I think everything is fine. So now, students, we can come to the basic discussion. So shall we start working on the basic discussion like you were talking? So one basic discussion I can specially say, one weakness is a family-owned business. Agree or not agree, students? Yes or no? Family-owned business. And can I write one more thing? No corporate governance. Do we have any corporate governance in this, students? No, right? There is no corporate governance at all. So that is one more weakness. Here we have observed family-owned business, 100% I agree. And there is no corporate governance as well. There is no corporate governance as well. And then, students, can I ask you one question? Do we have any digital marketing? Digital marketing. Do we have any digital marketing or a website? Did they mention anything specifically like that? Priscilla, digital
I couldn't
marketing,
see anything in that.
anything, right? So anyone in our class, you can comment. I'll just give around 10 seconds to think. Digital marketing or website, do we have, students? A presence of a website, digital marketing at the moment? No, right? Students, no, right? So can I just say digital marketing website? Not much presented, not much presented, correct? So this is a bigger issue at the moment. Not much presented at all. And find courses.co. No, our website, do we have? That is my question. So that was one thing. And then, students, I just want to come to the next area as well. So the next area, if you observe, now if you see our organization structure, Asif and Miriam is the chief heads, and Miriam is taking care of the operations, Asif is taking care of stakeholder management. So in this three, can you tell me who is the most important person? Of these three, who is the most important person?
I think they always
Marja?
Marja is no. The correct one is Janus, because Janus is the most important person. because if you see course development and this topic managers and course managers are below him. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Now, can I ask you one question? In this business, can we outsource this? Possible or not possible? Can I just ask a basic question from Priscilla? Is it possible to outsource our finance operation in this business?
Yes.
Yes. And is it possible to outsource our HR department as well? Do we have excess number of factory anything, or it is purely internal? What do you think, Priscilla? Yes or no? Like payroll, everything, can you quickly outsource and get a better talent find or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, right. So students, I can say this Janus should be an operations director. What do you think, students? Yes or no? Instead of marketing, he is taking care of the operations. Agree or not agree? Yes or no, students? Because topic managers and course managers are responsible for the operations, correct? No, students? So can I just mention, and one more thing, do we have an IT director? Another question, do we have an IT director, students? No, we don't have an IT director. That is one weaknesses that we can clearly observe, that operation guy is also not there, that we can clearly observe that as well. So IT director not there is a question mark. So can I just write down here, IT director, IT director is not present. IT director is what, students? Not present in the organization. Not present in what, students? The organization. Makes sense or doesn't make sense, students? Makes a lot of sense there. And then, students, I can say Janus is handling more of operations than what? Marketing. Okay, so students, any questions you have, you can ask me. So opportunities I will write down. We can outsource, just to be on the safe side, we can outsource finance department, since the process is very simple. The process is very simple. The process is very simple. Agree, students? Yes or no? It's not complicated. It is very much simple. So can I say one strength they have is they have 300% owned what, students? Overseas subsidiary. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Is that a strength? Yeah, it is a strength. Okay, so I'll just go through this, and then I think most of the important areas I think we have successfully covered. So another thing I can generally say, another strength they have, lack of dependency on physical areas. Physical areas, meaning I can say no rent overheads. Do we have rent overheads, Priscilla?
Sorry, sir. What did you say again?
Do we have rent overheads?
Apart from the office that they have,
because
but
we are
no.
not conducting anything in our own building. So
Yeah.
we are just booking a hotel 5 days, we are conducting the courses. And I just have a chat. What is the difference between subsidiary and an investment center? Subsidiary is generally a company that you own. Investment center is a division that is responsible to make investment decisions for the organization. Example, if you generally see, Reliance will have their own investment center to invest in Geo or any other organization. But Geo is a subsidiary of Reliance. I think that example is clear. Okay, so that is also done.
Sir, on page 7,
Yes.
They have mentioned website on the first para. First para, they get the clients from the international clients through their website. Page 7. Trainer's website. The potential clients from many different countries and new clients are sometimes recruited through Trainer's website.
Trainers website. Okay. Trainers is, however, happy to accept client from any country. Course managers maintain a regular contact and clients with potential clients for many different countries, sometimes recruited through trainers website. So I can generally say you are correct. So I can say not much presence presented, only basic version.
Yes.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Perfect, right? Thank you very much. So students, I think we have done a super research today. Any points you like to add, you can add, students. I will be able to guide you. I'll give the mic to Priscilla. We'll go order by order. Priscilla, anything that you want me to add here? You
So
can, yes,
for
please.
threats, we didn't mention like universities and colleges. Is it something we can talk about? That could be
Of
the
course,
competition.
of course, of course. Universities and colleges developing corporate training. I think, students, there is a website called edX. In that you have IIM courses as well. So correct. Thank you very much. Any other things, Priscilla?
One last thing, I'm not sure if this is part of it, but could government laws affect the way they operate?
Of course. Government can include new regulations to manage the process of training. Wonderful. So I think that's fine. High tax, it's a good one. I also observe that. High taxation. I also observe that. High taxation. Thank you. So I will give the mic to Mr. Jose. You can use the chat box if possible, if there's a mic issue. So anything that you like to mention, if everything is fine for you, you can put Y in the chat box. If you like to add anything, you can add. Thank you, Mr. Jose. And I'll come to the next person, Mr. Kamaraj. Anything you like to add? If it is fine, you can put Y in the chat box. Mr. Kin, anything you like to add? Or you can put Y in the chat box.
At the moment, yeah, thanks. Yep.
Okay. Mr. Krishna, anything you like to add? You can put Y in the
Here,
chat. Yes.
in this, in the universities, basically they have a education research team. If you see the big organization, big education institutions. So I think these guys, they lack that.
Correct. I can generally say that. So that we have just put corporate training and
Yes.
lack of research centers. Thank you. In, I can say, Trayyner. In Trayyner, they don't have research center. Thank you. Thank you. Lakshman, anything you like to add? If it is fine, you can put Y in the chat box. Mr. Nirosh, anything you like to add? If it is fine, you can put Y in the chat box. Mr. Funny, anything you like to add? If it is fine, you can put Y in the chat box. Mr. Ravi Kumar, anything you like to add? If it is fine, you can put Y in the chat box.
Yeah, I have one thing, sir. Actually, it's a unquoted company, so if it is raising a capital, it would be difficult. So can we add it
Wonderful.
in weakness?
Yes, I can just put in the weakness. I can say unquoted entity, will be challenging in raising finance? Very good. Thanks, Mr. Ravi Kumar.
Thanks.
Mr. Robin, anything you like to add? If it is fine for you, you can put Y in the chat box. Mr. Sajal, anything you like to add? Everything fine means you can put Y in the chat box.
Yes, I would like to add an opportunity. For example, we can pitch into corporates to outsource their training department to Trayyner.
Super. Training department
Thank you.
outsourcing opportunities. And finance function, because we can get the finance function as well to, I can say, Trayyner. Because if you see, our finance department will have very less operations. So we can add other companies' financial functions as well. That's an excellent point. Thank you, Mr. Sajal. Mr. Saeed, any questions? Anything you like to add?
Can we add a minus, yes, a negative feedback from delegates?
I think we have already mentioned that.
All right, okay.
Hey, Mr. Yahya, anything we'll add? If you're fine, you can put Y in the chat box. Yes, please.
Actually, I have quite a few questions.
Please.
Strength and weaknesses. I sent it to you. There are quite a few I had different as well, which I can quickly say. We did not talk about anything to do with the trainer's loyalty, or did not talk about his contract and the core product he's preparing. He's the one who's delivering. So I think we need to focus on this issue, that how critical it is when it's come to because that's their product, and a contractor is actually preparing and delivering the product.
Correct. But I think it was
Question mark on
clearly
his loyalty as
mentioned.
well.
Yes, I think it was mentioned in one sentence that one trainer can train only for one organization according to this company.
Okay.
So suppose if they train in someone else company, they may not take him lifetime, even if it is a senior lecturer.
Yes, but again, question mark on loyalty. Anyway, there's another one. 20% shares of the executive boards, which is they will find it hard to make decision because 80% owned by other shareholders, the company. That is something they may have challenge in this area as well.
Frankly speaking, they need to satisfy only the decision here, because I think these two have been completely have got the power to make operation decision. That's the reason dividend percentage is on 90%. So the rest of the guys have invested only for the dividend purpose, and they will not involve in the day-to-day operations. So
No,
they are
I mean,
giving
retention, if they want to retain more. So
then there will be a problem. But if you see, our competitor is also having the same thing. So
yes.
industry wise, this is an industry practice we have just talked about.
Okay. The next is if you see the course time, which is 9 o'clock to 1:30, and that includes lunch and few breaks. So
Okay.
the course time, if you minus the lunch and few breaks, it will be like a couple of hours course. So if they extend, because executive, they don't have that much time, like number of days.
But they're
They
taking
extend it to
holidays,
like
if I'm not
3:30,
mistaken.
so they can save
So
1 day.
they're taking holidays for training,
No,
because
no,
they take a flight and travel. Just
no,
read
that's
it.
fine. But what I'm saying is, if let's say if they increase the time up to 3:30, which is very normal time anywhere when you go for course, they expect you 6 to 7 hours.
But they may have flight to take it, right? Practically, they have to catch another flight to go back to their residence. So it may
No, but
affect.
if they're going for 3 days, see, they stay 3 days there. It's not them every day they
Correct.
go
On the
and come.
third day, if there's a flight delay, so there are different locations, right? 8 hours journey, if I'm not mistaken.
No, what I'm saying is, I mean,
No, you are
what I'm
correct.
saying,
I'm not telling you are correct here. Nothing wrong here. I'm just telling, did you observe this 8 hours difference?
yes, 8 hours. So they need day before and they need day
So
after.
just think practically. 8 hours flight means they won't land 8 hours there. They need to take another cab and go to their home. They need to change their address. You understand what I'm saying? So this is how it works out. Practically, just visualize and see. 8 hours journey is a very long distance.
Okay, and on-site training. This is the area which big corporations, some of the, I mean, I've seen some surveys as well. 25% of the, which was American survey, 25% of the corporation, they prefer on-site training. So that is the area they are not doing anything.
Only
And,
for engineering, it's possible. Health and safety, it is possible. But for accounting and finance, on-site training is very challenging.
no, not for all, but there's a like 25% of the survey was one of the survey which I actually shouldn't mention because I forgot to take the reference, but I'll find it again.
Okay. Any other things?
Another thing is there's a few more. Sorry. This is done. This is done. This is done. One more thing left. Okay, on site I said, and yeah, also in-house, because we are talking about going this market, we can't afford every single segment of the market to actually book a hotel. You know what I mean?
Okay, go ahead.
So in-house, I mean training facility.
That's what's told here.
Okay.
I think we included that.
The final one is, I think there is one more. We did not talk about, do we need to, are we going to talk later on about ratios?
Ratios Thursday class.
Okay, ratio, so I don't need to talk about that now. Okay, the course manager's discretion, like providing discounts and offers, that is also, they did mention in the course that they don't have really much discretion to offer a
That's
discount.
good actually, because it will prevent over trading.
Okay, and that's it, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so students, one thing I just want to add here. So one thing is, if you observe our business model, just look at the way they are training at a hotel. At a hotel, the training is provided. Just observe that training is provided with good amenities, if I'm not mistaken, and social gathering. Social gathering. So one question I have, students, 8-hour journey flights, 8-hour journey flights. So here, my question is this similar? Is this similar to more than a corporate training? Can I say, is this similar to mostly like a relaxation plus a networking opportunity? What do you think, students? Here it is mostly like a networking opportunity, because did you observe some of the delegates' feedbacks are they need to network with other company managers as well. Are you understanding what I'm saying, students? So here, one thing you need to remember, the trainer, more than the trainer, students, the most strongest thing for a differentiating factor is networking. Priscilla, do you agree with that? Yes or no?
Yes, and we call it away day sometimes.
Correct. Can I just write down here? Away day. Because students, if you observe here, people were talking, right? Why the trainers are not loyal? Because here, more than a training organization, they are ending up like a networking organization. What do you think, Priscilla? Even though we see this like an example, when we go to drink coffee in Starbucks, or if I say coffee bean, Priscilla, are we actually paying for Starbucks coffee, or are we paying for their place?
We're paying for their place, the
Correct,
ambience.
correct, right, Priscilla? Now, example, I and you go for a meeting at Starbucks. Can we stay there for almost 2-3 hours and talk?
I think now, yes.
Yes, it's possible, correct? But if we go to a normal coffee shop, is it possible? Or they will ask us to leave?
They'll probably ask you to leave after an
Leave.
hour.
Correct, because students, that's what the coffee is very expensive. So students, even though they are stating that they are training, ultimately it's a networking organization. That is the objective here. So one thing I can say, the universities, I'll come to that point. Can I ask you one question? I'm being a university teacher, I'll be very honest with you. My colleagues are extremely poor in networking. Do you believe me or not believing me? What do you think, Priscilla? Do you think university professors are very good in networking, or they are very much introvert?
I think they're not very good at networking.
They're not good at networking. So one strength for this is universities, why they can't take over a corporate training companies. The university graduates or the university faculties are very good technically, but very poor in networking. What do you think, students? Do you agree with me, yes or no?
I agree.
100%. Because that is one thing we need to think outside the box. They are completely outside, they don't know how to handle it. So I think Mr. Yahya has mentioned something, one more. Yes, Mr. Yahya.
Yes, so it's a more of a strategic one rather than, I would say, management. See, this company, Trayyner, basically their main market is executive training. So they are higher end of the market. Now, when we talk about introducing, targeting different segments of the market, we have to be very careful. Like you have a certain image and perception in the market. So if you go for every course, it's just I give you example, like if Rolls Royce start 1000 cc and 1600 cc car, they will be able to sell very easily and gain market share, but only for few years. And after that, Rolls Royce will not be Rolls Royce. It will be like an ordinary car. So you lose that premium price. So this company, actually, they are into the executive training market. So this is something, as I said, is a strategic, but it was, I did mention in my weaknesses, all this, they should go in this segment, they should go in, but ultimately, when you see their market, I think it's for them, it's jumping into every market. It's not the right strategy for the future long term. This is where I was thinking. The question is more of a strategic one than the
Okay.
thing we are discussing. You know what I mean?
Yes. So students, now I'll come to the point of view here. So if you observe, we are in the executive training. I can completely agree with you. So there is a market perception as well, according to the company in the existing client base. But I can say that can be done in a strategical manner. It can be done in a strategical manner, because if you observe, it will only get affected if you do a promotion. But in a demand pull, I think it may not be a bigger effect in a demand pull category. But if you are going to a demand push, that means excessive marketing and going into other platform, that will be a bigger issue. Example, if there was a Navy issue, what I can say is you can get the Navy opportunity indirectly or internally, but you need to handle it specifically. Example, we have a training course called specialization. I'll just show that specialized courses. So here, valuing business, everything. So in this case, what will I can generally say is they can have that as well, but they need to do it technically. And I will just mention the risk what that can happen if they move on to everything. Priscilla, can you remember there is a theory called Porter's generic theory by any chance? By any chance, Priscilla?
Yes.
Porter's generic theory. So as per the Porter's generic theory, like Mr. Yahya was saying, they can end up in stuck in the middle. That means confused. The market will get confused, and that's a very good point. That is, we should not pursue everything that we are doing, because ultimately the market will have a issue in the stuck in the middle. Example, if I say Harvard University is generally for business management, correct? But If I say another organization, example, I can say a Sanford or anything, that doesn't fall for management courses. That will be engineering IT. So every organization has their specialization, and executive training is our major specialization. Completely agree. That's a good point. Thank you, Mr. Yahya. So students, I think we have chalked out a wonderful SWOT analysis, and I think everyone is satisfied. So students, in the next class, we will do the ratio analysis. And can you take a printout of this document and paste it in your wall? So I believe everything is over. So thank you very much, students. Let's meet up on the Thursday class.
Thank you very much, sir. Very good.
Good night.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Good night.